It's mail call time.
Mail call? We got mail?
Call.
We got mail.
I mean, kind of on the internet. Internet mail.
Do you think it's like a
email?
A soulmate that you know but don't know you know because she's on the internet and it's really Meg Ryan?
Did you just explain the plot to You've Got Mail?
No.
So what we're doing is we do these once a week. It's mail call because you guys ask us questions, and we love answering those questions, but sometimes it's hard to get them in to weekly podcasts about the show and not distract from the show. People that are new listeners, they come in and they want to hear about this episode, and then we, answer. So we decided, hey, we'll put them all into one video each week where we try to answer as many of your questions as we get that have like the hashtag mail call. Now, going forward, before we begin, let me tell you, the way we're going to do this is we're going to start primarily pulling these from the mail call video. So, for example, if you have a question that you want to ask, comment it on this video. And that way it's just easier for us. We can just pull it up and go through them when we podcast because we've been very fortunate because it's hard to keep up with all the ones through the episode podcasts and all of that. So we're going to try to get all the ones on the mail call, and then we'll try to find a few from the others. But going forward, put them on. So, like, for instance, if we don't answer your question, put it on this video in the comment section, and I promise you it will be answered next week. But so let's get to going. We'll get some of these. Let's see. Rain DeVos says, as a Dutch listener, it fascinates me to hear you guys having guns laying around at home. Do you guys own them just for the haves, or do you actually need them in your daily life? I'm sorry if this might sound like a dumb Euro question, but it's hard to imagine being able to legally buy guns. Hashtag mail call. What kind of guns do you guys own? It's. I don't really. I mean, I have them. Some of them for protection, obviously, but I keep one near my bed.
Need one than need one.
Yeah, in case somebody breaks in. But some of it's recreational because shooting guns is fun as long as you're safe about it and you practice gun safety and learn the weapons. Then it's a fun recreation. Actually, for my friend's bachelor party the other weekend, we all went to the gun range, and his brother, is not very big on guns, and I don't think he's shot a gun but once in his life. A little pistol, and he said we were going to go shoot the AR-15s, and he was, of course they've got a bad name in today's time, but he was like, I don't really see the need in the big guns, the AR-15s. It's like, actually, AR-15 is not really a big gun, but so we were like, just shoot it and try it. If you don't like it, he shot it, and I kid you not, he almost bought one on the way out. He was like, this is such a fun shooting gun, but it was, like I said, it was safe. You've got to be safe. My dad was in the military, and I've been shooting since I was a child. So I was brought up with the emphasis on how important gun safety was, how just like a vehicle, this object can end someone's life if you're careless with it. Sure. I mean, my dad was very big on that my entire life, and I applaud him for it because he was very, very big on gun safety. And it's, as an adult now, I find myself to be, you've been shooting with us. I felt like we were a safe bunch,
Yeah.
You never put your life at risk.
Yeah, I didn't lose any extremities. So.
But yeah,
so. Time you wanted to shoot the apple off the top of my head, but, you were good about it.
I know, I hit it.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have asked to make that shot,
exactly.
So. Obviously, if you just are tuning in, we're sarcastic, so you got to take things we say with a grain of salt. But real quick, before we move on to the next question, you also asked what kind of guns we have. JP, what do you have? You had guns, and then you sold some of them?
Well, I had a 22 caliber revolver, nothing big or fancy.
That thing was fun to shoot. It was
a lot of fun, but times got tight. I sold that. I had a 12-gauge shotgun, which I loved.
Oh, that Browning, yes.
But it was stolen, and I'm gunless right now. I'm unprotected. I got these mitts right here. I got these fists.
Mike 1, Mike 2.
And that's it, yeah.
I own quite a few. I have a Remington 870. The purpose of that gun is I hunt with it. It's a shotgun. I take it hunting. I own a Glock 21, which is a 45 caliber. I keep that beside my bed. That's kind of like my protection. I own a Taurus PT92, which is a 9mm because it just looked awesome, and I loved it, and I wanted it, and it's a fun, great gun. And I've got a Taurus PT 111 G2, which is just something that's like a smaller concealed carry type gun. It was really cheap, and I only bought it because it was cheap, and was so pleasantly surprised with it that I made it my main concealed carry. What else? I got an AR-15. It's a Ruger AR-556. It's a fun target gun, man. I mean, it's just a fun gun. I mean, because as gun owners, man, I won't get on the gun thing. We'll get off this very soon. But I will say, like, as a gun owner, man, I've said it and I mean it. I pray. I never want to point my gun at another person.
No,
like, I don't have a gun roll around in my underwear in my living room playing commando going, somebody knock on that door. Come on. No, the last thing I think when somebody knocks on my door is, I got to grab my gun. Usually I look out the window and I'm like, oh, it's the pizza guy, or, oh, it's the mail guy, or, you know, and it's like, I do have but like my guns, you've been to my house, my guns stay locked up. You can't just get them. They're not laying around. The only one that's accessible is my Glock, which stays beside my bed, but all the others are locked up, and there's a key that you have to use to get in there. If not, you're going to have a hard time prying it open. You know, so I mean, I've got a 22 caliber. I use that for target shooting and squirrel hunting. I have a 20 gauge.
I can say I would definitely own at least a couple guns, if not for my Rabid comic book and action figure edition. A lot of my money goes there. But
let me clear something up real quick.
Yes.
Since you are Dutch, and we cannot buy machine guns like that. Like, I've seen one common misconception. I actually talked to a guy from Denmark. I think Austria, at a music festival, and he was like, yeah, y'all get to have machine guns. I was told it was people walking down the street with machine guns. I was like, nah, you can buy a machine gun, but here's the thing. Number one, you've got to have a clean record. Number two, there is so much paperwork, and you forfeit so many of your rights to own a fully automatic weapon that most people, I have no desire to own one. None of my weapons go, they're all pow, 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 right. Semi-automatic, because I don't feel like going through that tedious paperwork just to own something that's going to run out of bullets in 30s. My dad, like I said, my dad was in the military, and he said straight up, the only reason I would ever use a fully automatic weapon is you cover fire, like to help one person advance up. Like if you're trying to fight with it, the last thing you want to do is pull the trigger for 3 seconds and have an empty magazine. You can run through your ammo like that, and you're going to overheat the gun. So I just want to clear that up. I didn't know what what you thought, but like, we have guns, but you can't just go in and buy a machine gun. I mean, most of these guns are sporting guns. They're made for target shooting or hunting game. So, but yeah, it's not so much we have them because we're paranoid or anything. I mean, it's just better to have them and not need them, like JP said, than to need them and not have them.
You never know when the King of England might want to get back in our face.
I think he's dead, but if he does get back in our face, that could say that the zombie apocalypse is kickstarted.
Yeah, zombie King of England.
Then you'll really be glad. But anyways, I didn't mean to get on a gun tangent, but it's always, you just got to kind of tiptoe around gun questions in today's political climate. Let's see. Next question. What are your hopes moving forward with both shows? Oh, and beware, spoilers are out. Oh, this was asking about the other one. So our hopes with the show is that it keeps being awesome.
Yeah, it keeps on the track it's on. Angela King seems to be a good showrunner. So,
I've been very happy with her work so far.
And just someone kind of keep an eye on that Scott Gimple character. Kind of worries me.
Keep him in check.
I think he's heading up all the Rick solo movies.
He is, but he also wrote Rick's farewell episode, and that was a pretty damn good episode. I mean, I know people are kind of wish people have difference of opinions, but okay. So that's my hopes for, and Fear the Walking Dead. I hope Fear the Walking Dead picks up a little bit. I've been enjoying it.
As have I.
I just hope that next season they come up with some way to keep it. I hope they can make next season the same way that they've made this season. And I'm really excited to see if they're going to skip forward in time too. Mm-hmm. How that's going to play out. I just hope they are able to keep it fresh. That's the thing. Just not get with the same old. This season was good, but let's not pace last season like this season. Let's come up with something new. You know what I mean? Some new threats, because they're not going off of the comics for the most part. So there's. The future is yours. You can write whatever the hell you want, Okay, let's see. I am. Let's see. I thought I had one from Elisa Jet. I always seem to agree with Justin and still do. I'm a huge Troy fan. I'm so glad Elisa Jet agrees with me most of the time, because not many other people do. Everything.
Oh,
we're just good like that.
The Walking Dead, right?
We're just good like that. We get along. We agree on everything. Let's see. So, Brian Ackham says that we didn't answer his question on the last mail call video, and I need to find it. So JP, we will we'll go
Apologies.
through and we'll go through and find it. So Brandon Robinson says, mail call. Do you think Jadis/Ann could actually be taking a page out of Rick's book and playing the long game by saying he is a B but strong, assuming A is some sort of alpha leader and B more of a follower worker? Well, didn't she say something when she was like, I've got a B. He's wounded, but he's strong.
Yeah, and it seems alphas have to be bitten, or A's have to be bitten.
Well, I don't know, because that, to me, with the whole they got to be bitten thing doesn't make sense. Because why would she tell Father Gabriel, I thought you were a B? Yeah, I thought you were going to be a B, but you're definitely an A. Like, because she was going to have him bitten is what she...
I guess, because she was definitely, I don't know, man. It was very confusing.
But no, I think that I think she was being honest right there. I think that she definitely thinks that Rick Grimes is Rick Grimes. I mean, he might go wherever they're going and just start running that shiz. But
yeah.
So our next question comes from Javix Girl. I'm sorry that I butchered that name if I didn't say it right. And this one's for you, JP.
It's for me?
This is for you.
All right.
So enjoy.
Let's see.
JP, since we can't get Justin into watching Doctor Who, hey, it's not that you can't. It's just that I got to find the time. I've told JP over the last few years, I really would love to get into Doctor Who. I just know it's a lot to pick back up.
It's a lot to digest, but it's well worth the journey.
She asked, how are you finding the new Doctor now that we've had some time to get to know her? And who is your favorite Doctor/Doctors? Mine is forever 10. And then she says 12 was good too, though.
Whew,
so the floor is yours, my friend.
That's a big question. I like the new Doctor. I like the first two episodes. Wait a minute. Was the second episode the Rosa Parks? The Rosa Parks episode was good. I felt it was a little like after-school special kind of feeling. But no, I'm liking the new Doctor, the new Lady Doctor. Doctor Who kind of feels a lot more like a British show again. And it's good. My favorite Doctor, I'm torn. I really liked Matt Smith, number 11. I really liked 10. I mean, obviously, I think the show was at its best during the David Tennant years. But, man, Peter Capaldi, number 12. I think the writing during his seasons was definitely hit and miss. It was by far not the best episodes, but I loved Peter Capaldi. Loved him.
Peter Capaldi.
But Matt Smith, number 11, I liked him. Man, that's an impossible question to answer.
You're between this lady's. Her favorite was 10, but she liked 12, and you're liking 11. You're like right in between.
Well, I loved. It's just something so whimsical about 11, but no 12. Like I said, not the episodes were definitely a little hit and miss, as with any show, but 12 Capaldi, I might have liked him the best. He was just a cranky, possibly sociopathic old man, just having fun. And I'm just going to go crazy. The fourth Doctor was my favorite, Tom Baker.
Okay.
Not really. I haven't watched all of his stuff. That's the 70s Doctor. But anyway, love Doctor Who. Justin, I would love for us to experience that together. Going
after what happened the last time you came to my house, we talked about this. It's going to be a while before we are alone together.
Look, it's bigger on the inside. I keep telling you that.
Yeah, but I don't believe it. No, it's not that I don't want to hear it. I don't believe it.
I don't want to hear it.
But
yeah,
the
new season of Doctor Who, much like the new season of The Walking Dead with Angela King, the new showrunner Chris Chibnall, I think I'm saying it right, probably not though. Great new showrunner on Doctor Who. Check it out. The stories are very self-contained. Great TARDIS crew. Great new Doctor. And they don't make a big deal. Like, it's not like a big political statement that the Doctor's a woman. It's just like,
she's a woman, and now she kicks ass. Let's go.
Yeah, it's great. Great.
Gotcha. Well, moving on to the next call. Mech Plays says, could Jadis be connected to Georgie? I don't think so. I don't think there's any Georgie Jadis connection there. I could be wrong. Maybe where Georgie comes from is where Jadis is going. And that would be cool. That would be a cool twist. But I don't think so. They've not given me anything to think that could be a thing. So if that does happen to be a thing, great prediction, because that was out the blue in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Georgie's getting around in a little like VW van or something.
All right.
They've got like a nice state-of-the-art helicopter. So I don't know.
Let's see. All right. JC Dossett says, I hope I said that right. What do you guys think of the Cindy character from Oceanside? Do you think they're going to keep her around, maybe for Daryl? Man, I hope so. Daryl needs some loving, man.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, though, because I think now when we get back to, 6 years later, I think he's just like living in the woods by himself.
You think he holds himself responsible for what happened to Rick?
I mean, I don't think that he holds himself responsible so much as, and I mean, he could, but I see it more as it'd be like, God forbid, and I hope to say it'd be like me and you having a big falling out.
Okay.
And we don't really make up like talking about. We have a big falling out and you go out and get killed in a car crash. It's that kind of like things left unsaid, kind of like, man, if I would have known that was going to happen, our last interaction wouldn't have played out the way it did. I feel like that's what's going to be getting him. But, I mean, he could. It's Daryl. He's dark and brooding. He could definitely hold himself responsible. He definitely did for Glenn, but in my opinion, that is his fault.
Yeah.
Let's see what other questions are on this video. Okay, that's it for that one. So let me go to some of our other videos and grab. We got a few more minutes for JP's got to scoot out of here.
Yeah.
Let me go to a few of our more recent videos and find mail calls here. So it's just we're very lucky. Like when we first started this channel, it was so easy. It was so easy to keep up with the comments because we had like 6 of them, and some of them are still commenting, and we love you more than you'll ever understand. And you make our day and make this worth doing. But we've brought on some new people, and 6 comments was a lot easier to manage and address than when you got to like 90 something to 100 and something to a couple hundred comments on a video, which made us very happy. But it was like, whoa, these are really hard to keep up with. Let's see. Go back through I'm going in order of our videos looking for hashtag mail calls. So just bear with me for a second while I see if I can find one. All right, here we go. Jeep, longtime listener.
Oh, yeah.
Mail call. Where is Grace at? She's got to be around 8 years old now. That's true. Is she a little ass kicker like Judith? Maybe they can be the kid versions of Rick and Daryl together. Wouldn't it be messed up if years down the road they go do some DNA testing on Judith and find out neither Rick or Shane is the dad?
Oh.
It's Dale.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Lori's really getting around that farm, huh? Really getting around that RV.
Oh, man. That Jeep, thank you for the laugh. That is freaking great. Yes, it was Dale's child. I don't know. That is a good question. I do wonder where she is, and I wonder if she'll kind of take like Sophia's place, because I don't know how they're going to play this. Judith is definitely kind of stepping into Carl's role to an extent, but I also hear Henry is going to take some of Carl's story. But in the comics, obviously, slight spoiler, but Sophia's still alive. And actually, very recently, Carl's having a little bit of conflict between the girl that he's currently sleeping with and the fact that Sophia's giving him crazy hints that she wants to sleep with him, too. She wants to sleep with somebody,
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's kind of, and that's not, I know obviously these kids are too young to be put into that situation, but I'm just saying, I think that, all through Carl's life, even when he was 10 years old, he had Sophia was his best friend more so than his girl that he had a crush on. So I don't know how she might could step into Sophia's role a little bit, because Sophia, like her, was an orphan. Remember in the comic?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert again, but these comics have been out for 15 years, man.
It's been a while.
But, Sophia in the comics, Carol was Sophia's mom, obviously, and she died very early on in the comics, and then was adopted basically by Maggie and Glenn. And Maggie and Glenn kind of became Sophia, because Sophia just recently mentioned in the comics her mom, and she was talking about Maggie, but she calls Maggie mom. So this, Gracie obviously is a orphan too. So maybe she'll step into Sophia's role to an extent. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited though. Let's see. Let's scroll down and find another mail call. Yeah, always remember to hashtag mail call. It makes these so much easier to find. Lori S. says, what are some of your favorite zombie movies? JP, you want to go first?
Oh, boy. I like the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I like the original Dawn of the Dead, too, but the remake was really, really good. You got Ving Rhames.
I loved the Dawn of the Dead. I didn't like the second one they tried to do.
I didn't even know they did.
Day of the Dead? Was that was the second one, but they redid. I think I watched it on Netflix, maybe. It was not.
Now, are you talking about the original Romero? Because J. Romero, you had Night of the Living Dead, Dawn, and then Day
of the Dead. Right. I was saying Day was after Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
So they tried to remake
that. Did
that.
they remake that?
I'm pretty sure they did, because they kind of made Bub, I think instead of it being Bub, if I'm thinking right, and please correct me, because I watch a lot of Netflix, and sometimes these movies blur in together, because I watch as many cheap horror and zombie movies as I can find. But I'm pretty sure it was Day of the Dead, because it was the same thing. They had the military compound or whatever. But Bub, they instead of representing another Bub, like, a smart zombie that retained, what it was this like pervy dude who had a crush on this younger girl, and basically once he turned into a zombie, they ran into each other again, and like he sneaks into the compound, and insanity ensues from there. But it was basically like their way of kind of like keeping a Bub type zombie, because we all remember Bub if you've seen Day of the Dead. He's our icon on YouTube.
Right, yeah, I don't know that movie. I know there was a Land of the Dead that Romero made that in later years. And
that was, I remember that.
Such a great one. There was I think it's called The Horde or something, like a French zombie movie I saw a while back on Netflix. I thought that was
I did see that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was good. I will say that I really love Zombieland. Like, I loved Zombieland. I know that it's, got a goofier tone to it, but I really dug it, man. That was probably one of my favorite probably to date, all around. Like, just it hits on the zombie gore and the zombie violence that you love. It's got comedy. It's got some serious moments to it, too. Like, I'd probably Zombieland, because Resident Evil is my favorite, like, zombie game of all time. Like, I'm talking early Resident Evil, because the Resident Evil 7 was great, but 5 and 6 were crap.
Yeah. And 28 Days Later, that.
I didn't think about that.
That's a great movie.
I can't forget about that. Yes, 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later, both were great. 28 Days was, just crazy and different, but I liked them both, to be honest with you.
There was some series of, like, Return of the Living Dead or something I remember on VHS in the video store growing up that it was crazy. I don't remember the names of them, but anyway.
Man, yeah, that's a tough question. So I'm sorry I can't give you a straight up answer on that. But I don't know, man. Probably Zombieland. If I think of something better, I will let you know when I get to it. I've watched so many, I've never really thought about what was my favorite, you know, so it's kind of hard to narrow it down. Ray Owen says, you guys are awesome. Oh, thank you.
Well, that's nice.
But I only have you on this channel. Do you have any other channels where you podcast about other stuff? Either that, or would you ever change your channel name? Create a playlist called The Podcasting Dead and give yourselves the opportunity to review other things and game on the channel, etc. Keep up the awesome work, guys. Much love from Manchester, England.
Well,
awesome.
Like
we love you, the UK, man. It's awesome.
Love our international fans.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Ray, we definitely are thinking about changing our name.
If anyone has any great name ideas that fit us well, throw them out there.
Please. We were just talking about getting together and having a brainstorming session here soon where we come up with names. But yeah, we actually are thinking of doing that now. We're not going to get away from The Walking Dead. It's where we started, and we're going to, and we love it on top of that. So it's not a chore. We genuinely enjoy talking about it. So we're always going to keep that, but we do want to do things like Daredevil and more comic reviews and play some games. And so, yeah, we do. We want to change our channel name. Well, of course, we'll let everybody know before we do it and then go from there. But yeah, so we do actually.
Yeah,
so,
and we're open to suggestions because I've been racking my brain, and every halfway good idea I have is somebody's already taken that name. So
it's crazy that you asked that because we were just talking about that like a few days ago.
We were.
Let's see any other. We got time for one or two more. And again, I am so sorry if we didn't get yours. I'm now going through our recent videos, so. If you want, what you can do, like I said, is start leave your question on this video, and it'll be way easier to find. Because I mean, we do these several a week, and then we also work full time. JP works 2 jobs, so it is really hard to kind of go through that and keep them all. Jim Jams, good question. How would Negan react when he finds out that Rick died? Will he cry? That's a difficult question because Negan in the comics would probably cry. Negan in the comics has got such a man crush on Rick. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the guy that dominated him, and I don't mean that in a kinky way, but I kind of do.
Of course not.
But it's just a guy that showed Negan up, and rather than hate him for life, Negan kind of respects that, And in the comics, I definitely think Negan would be torn apart if he found out that Rick died. In the show, I don't know. I think that Negan has a little admiration for Rick, but they've kind of written him more to have more of a straight hate for Rick. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
That's a tough question,
Let's see. Any more questions before JP has to literally run out of here?
Got to go.
And I am so sorry if we don't get to your question. Leave it on this video, and I promise you it will get answered next time because then I don't have to go looking through our most recent videos. Let's go right here. All right, I'll go to this video, and then anything past that, we'll just have to get to it another time. Do, 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 do. Wow, that sounded creepy. I'm sorry that I did that. I don't think I see any mail calls on this one.
Well,
dang it. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. So from Scrapbook, I said it wrong last time, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to call you Rena. It says by Rena. I'm going to just call you Rena. Oh, man, you did okay, and I'm glad you posted today even if you were alone. Oh, thank you. How do you think Negan will find out about Rick, and how do you think it will or should go down? Oh, that kind of goes with the last question. I mean, the thing is, what sucks is I don't know that we're going to get to see his reaction. Because keep in mind, next episode is going to pick up 6 years later.
Yeah, I bet with Judith probably having conversations with Negan, oh, excuse me, he'll probably tell Judith a side of Rick that no one else is really willing to tell her about, you know? Right,
yeah, because I don't, like I said, when they skip that forward in the future, It's going to be, we don't know. I would like to see Negan show some regret. I would love to, because I've really, man, one of my favorite parts of last season was Negan's reaction to Carl's death. Mm-hmm. And then even Negan crying at the finale when Rick brought up Carl. Yeah. It was great to see that he truly did care. Because actually, I take that back. That's my second favorite. When he reacts to Carl's death was my second favorite. My favorite moment of the entire last season, honestly, I get goosebumps thinking about it, is just Carl up on that wall when he's giving Negan that speech. Powerful. And he's like, if you want to kill somebody, kill me. And then he's like, I don't want to die, but if it's got to be somebody, if it'll stop all of this, then yes. And then he's like, is this who you are? Oh, man, I love that. I thought that was brilliant. My favorite Carl moment of all time. All right, last one, and I am so sorry, but I've got to do work, and JP's got to, All right, hey Justin and JP, hey Gage Waltner, a long-time listener and commenter. So glad to be back listening to the podcast for season 9, which is so good that my friends who stopped watching in season 7 are watching it again. They saw the preview for the Whisperer arc, and they thought the reason for talking zombies was a new strain of virus or an evolution of the zombies. I thought about that, like people that don't know about the comics and the Whisperers who saw that preview in the thing were probably like, holy crap, are zombies
I've had people
talking?
Ask me about that, that don't read the comics.
My sister was like, zombies are talking now? I'm like, well, kind of. My question to you is, would it be cooler for the zombies to become White Walkers, or are the Whisperers a cooler enemy? Thanks again, guys. That is a cool question, man.
Well, I guess if the Night King were to come to the Walking Dead universe, he could seize control of the Walkers.
Right, that is kind of what he does. Yeah. I always joke that we should make a video, and I mean, obviously we know they don't even happen on the same channel, but that The Walking Dead is a prequel to Game of Thrones.
I mean, I have read theories that the Game of Thrones, it takes place in the future.
So. And you know what? The Walking Dead is supposedly fan theories connected to Breaking Bad. So we just got like a cluster, of shows. You've got the Breaking Bad caused the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead led to Game of Thrones. Think about it. Walkers, White Walkers. You've got I had more connections in my head, and I hate that because civilization broke down. They have to go back to swords, spears, and so I had way more in my head, and of course, by the time we get to the microphone, I can't remember it. But I think that's because I got 101 things to do today before I leave for the beach tomorrow morning. But so that's going to wrap up this week's mail call. Again, deepest sympathies for those that we didn't get to your questions.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you're there to pick it up when I forget words.
Yeah.
Them damn words, they hard to remember sometimes.
Yeah, nobody likes words.
I don't know that we would have careers without them. But we do apologize very sincerely if we didn't get to your question. Brian, I think was the guy's name. We didn't get to your question again, man, and that's not intentional. I couldn't find it. I know it was on another video, probably from last week, so please leave it in this video if you're listening, and I swear it by the old gods and the new. Game of Thrones reference. If you don't know that, if you don't know that's a Game of Thrones reference. I say that, and people always look at me like I am just the most bizarre person when I'm like, oh, yeah, I promise, man. I swear it by the old gods and the new. And they're like, okay. I'm like, Game of Thrones, man. Come on. Like, oh, yeah, I watch Game of Thrones, but you don't know what that means?
No, they don't.
But I promise you, if you leave it in this comment section, we will get it for you. And I will be back to 100% next week, because right now I'm sure I've been scattered on this today because I've got so much to do. There's a lot going on.
But we'll be hollering back at you Tuesday at the latest.
Gameplay video should be out by this point. If you're listening, us playing the Telltale's Walking Dead Michonne should be out and available Go watch it. It's fun. The game itself is a little slower than the Clementine ones, but they're still really good. And it's interesting to watch because JP doesn't play video games, and he's got the slowest reaction time of any human being I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, check it out. Check out our latest comic review, The Walking Dead issue 185.
Yeah.
Be up this today as well. So.
And maybe next week we'll talk about some of the details we found on Rick's movies.
That's right.
We're going to do it today, but we kind of ran out of time with two or three other podcasts.
But we love you, mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
most of the time.
most of the time.
Well, we will see you soon. And I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.
Gotta go.